And you're listening to Still Talking in the Morning on Real Country, WCAZ. I'm sitting down with Monty Prescott of Corpus Christi, Spook Central Paranormal, and a plethora of other endeavors. How are you doing this morning, Monty?
Doing really good, and yourself?
Very well, very well. Had a good quick chat before we started. But I mean, let's fire. I got some questions, so let's just fire it off. I'm going to ask you a question. I'll let you talk and fill in there. But my first question is how or when did the passion for this start? Or actually, maybe you should tell us a little bit about what we're talking about, and then I'll ask the question.
All right. Well, I've been investigating the paranormal for almost 17 years here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I've traveled pretty much all around the United States, investigating certain places for hauntings, paranormal activity, EVPs, you name it. We actually now have a television show here in Texas called South Texas Haunts.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, just like what you see on Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures and stuff like that. But it's been a really amazing ride. We've gotten to meet a lot of amazing people and do a lot of amazing things for our community. And, yeah, we go looking for spooky things.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's fun. That's pretty exciting. And it's October. Not that October is the only time you do it, but I think people think about it more, right now.
Yeah, it's October when it gets super crazy down here. October comes around and all of a sudden, there's paranormal events that we do, and of course we do a lot of fundraising events down here in Corpus, and of course we don't accept any of the money. It all goes to charity and local organizations. We try to do everything we can to give back to our community.
Yeah, you folks need to check this out because you do a lot of stuff.
Yes.
I don't I don't know how you get through a day. You do a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm a person. I just feel like when you start the day, you've got to, at least by the end of the day, feel like you've actually accomplished something. So I'm always trying to get something done.
Yeah, that's for sure. Rainy day, it's rainy here. I don't know how it is there, but you're always going. I want to plug this real quick. I know you have the RoboCop car. That's awesome.
Yes.
But you're doing a build now of another car, and
yes.
I see you doing a lot of that.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of movie replica props and stuff like that. The car I'm working on right now is a 1962 millimeter ambulance, and I'm actually, if you've seen the movie Ghostbusters, that was a '59 Cadillac, which those cars are extremely hard to come by.
Definitely.
But I found the same model, just different year. So I've been working on restoring and turning that into the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 car.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. I mean, I see a lot of faux Ghostbusters cars. I've seen the Ghostbusters SUV. I've seen the Ghostbusters van, which I really enjoyed. But yours is a little closer to the actual.
Yeah, the 1984 version, which that is my favorite version of the movie, is the 1984.
Agreed, hands down,
yeah.
Absolutely, hands down. So now I'll ask my question. So how and when did you get the passion for the Spook Central Paranormal?
Well, as a kid growing up, I lived in a home that had a lot of paranormal activity, and it scared me. It scared the daylights out of me. But as growing up, we actually, doing the automotive restoration, we had a building here in Corpus Christi, and things started happening in there. We started noticing tools being moved, especially that 10 millimeter kept disappearing on me. But we just started hearing noise and stuff like that, so we started doing historical research, and we found out that the building was actually used to store fatality vehicles. Then more research, we found out that there was a house there, and there was a house there at one time. There was a tunnel that went from one building to the other, and they actually used it for hiding slaves during that period of time. And there was a lot of reports of bad things that went on there, and so we had a paranormal team come in. They investigated. My mom was really into it, so she wanted to join them. My dad's like, I don't trust them. You're going to join too. I was like, okay, that sounds cool. They really weren't doing much. We were just having meetings. There was no investigations. And one day, I'm sitting there, watching Ghostbusters, and Dan Aykroyd goes, your girlfriend lives at the corner of Spook Central. And I thought, man, Corpus Christi Spook Central, that sounds catchy. I like it, And
yeah.
I went to my mom and I said, hey, how does Corpus Christi Spook Central sound? She goes, well, who are they? I said, well, it's us. And we hit the ground running. It's us. So we hit the ground running, and 17 years later, we've been on the Discovery Channel. We've been on Travel Channel. We're mentioned in books across Texas. We've done ghost tours. We've had a radio show for a short period of time here in Corpus. And now we're working with the TV show, and it's just been a crazy ride. And we've been able to help so many people along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I say you do a lot of fundraising and a lot of giving back.
Yes.
More. I like to think that I do, but I don't even touch the level that you guys have going on. But
it takes time, but you do get there. It's just you just dive into it, man.
All right. So just a quick question. So how does your equipment differ from obviously the novice ghost hunter just goes around with the flashlight? So how does your equipment differ? And then what's the first thing you pack when you're heading out, or what's the most important to you?
Well, we run on a scientific basis. For your basic ghost hunter, because I distinguish ghost hunters from investigators.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. To me, going out to a cemetery or stuff like that, and just having an audio recorder and digital camera, that's more of a ghost hunt, because the conditions you can't control as much as you can inside of a building. So when we're packing up our equipment, the first thing is the DVR. We run a DVR system, a 16-channel DVR system, thermal imaging, Ghost Box, SLS. A lot of the stuff that you watch, like on Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or others, we have a lot of that equipment, and that's the stuff that we use. And it takes a good hour to hour and a half to really set up everything. Yeah.
So I've seen your setups, seen some of the shows. I've watched a full overnight show that you have, but as I've seen, you guys have a lot of technical know-how and a lot of what's going on in the room for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. We try to cover every angle possible, because even when you're investigating, you're debunking, because just walking into a building doesn't mean, oh, this building's haunted just because it's spooky and creepy.
Yeah.
We've gone into some places that even the big TV shows have gone in, like, oh, this place is haunted, but I didn't get the evidence to prove that it's haunted. It doesn't mean it's not, but it could just mean that there's just paranormal activity there.
Yeah. Not
actually constitute a haunting.
Or a lot of times I think the bigger shows, they might have more money, but that doesn't mean they're as reputable, and maybe they try to force it a little bit for entertainment value.
Well, yeah, then that's what I tell a lot of people. They ask what that difference is between a real paranormal investigation and something you see on TV. There is, when you're watching on TV, there is an entertainment value, and every second something's happening, or that kid is possessed.
Yeah.
I've never been possessed. I've been scratched. I've felt like I've been touched. I've had my headphones and I can't say it's a ghost or a spirit because I have no proof of it.
Yeah.
But I've had my headphones yanked off my head before. I've seen a tape recorder move across the room, and I can't explain it, but I can't say it's a ghost because I don't have that piece of evidence that shows it that's going across.
Exactly. And so, you're not forcing it. You're going in, seeing the scene, and then reporting on what you do know, not what you speculate.
Exactly. Well, what we do is the evidence we capture, we put it out there for the public, and we let the public be the judge of it. Having that community that will jump in and say, you know what, I don't hear this, but I hear this. We've actually been able to really listen to something and go, you know what, they're right. I hear this a little bit, but right after this, there's something more. So getting more people together and have that collaboration of evidence, it just furthers the community and research of the paranormal.
Definitely. So, there's some things happen that can't be explained. Let's try to work on how we can explain it instead of just making up an explanation.
Exactly. Another question I get asked about is, everybody proclaims to be a professional paranormal investigator.
Absolutely.
I don't believe that, personally, I don't believe everybody's a professional. The only way you become a professional is when the time comes and you go over, you have all the answers. I think that everybody comes together, shares knowledge, and that just what makes you a paranormal investigator. I
agree with that 100%. Sometimes here I'm referred to as a professional, and I'm like, well, I get paid for it. I don't know how professional. I don't know how professional I am. But another question here. I got lots of good ones. Oh, well, do you think that ghosts travel, or would they more likely stay in one spot, or what's your thoughts or theory on that?
Well, I think certain spirits can travel. If they're not tethered to a certain location. But yeah, I really do believe that if they want to go between a loved one's house or someplace that they revisit, where they passed away at and then go back to where they used to live. I do believe that's possible.
Maybe watching over the family. I mean, that's something that, I mean, it seems like it would make sense to me.
Exactly. I've heard reports where people have moved and they still see their grandfather from time to time in the different locations. So I truly do believe that, there are spirits still watching us all the time, and some are watching over us.
All right. So I'm going to ask a couple more quick questions. But then I want to say right now that there's a part 2 to this interview. I believe we're coming up on the 21st.
Yes.
21st at 8 a.m. So there will be a part 2 of this interview because I do have lots of questions for you. But I don't want to run out of time. So I got one more. What are some places we don't necessarily think of that are hotbeds of activity? Like, I know a lot of people, we're thinking hospitals, out in the woods, hotels, libraries, church buildings. Like, where are some areas that you think that maybe aren't in that realm?
A lot of people, wooded areas. A lot of people, when you think of wooded areas, like Gettysburg and places like that.
Yeah.
We actually did an investigation in Anacoca, Louisiana, at a house, and as we're out in this wooded area, you could see things moving. Of course, to debunk it could be animals or stuff like that, but on picture, we've got shadow people, and after doing a lot of research, and it's something that people don't think about, that it was actually an Indian burial ground through there.
Oh, wow.
And of course, we didn't know during that time we were there. But it's a lot of people, wooded areas is something that people just don't understand. Plus, back in the Western days and all the history, there's bodies buried everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah, exactly, yeah. Everywhere. Unmarked, everywhere.
Exactly. So I think there's really just one place, but a lot of times in wooded areas is something that people are like, well, I never really thought of that. It's like, yeah, because there's cemeteries all over the place that we just don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I mean, you watch any Western movie, and someone dies, and they just get buried, and sometimes there's some rocks there, and sometimes there isn't. It's just there, and I think that's really what happened.
Exactly, or like the movie Poltergeist. The next thing you
know, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
You got captive popping from the ground. You just okay. Here we go.
All right. So last question before we go. Well, I got two more. One will be your contact info, but that'll be the last one. But favorite Halloween or scary horror movie, not Ghostbusters. Favorite not Ghostbusters horror related film, or top three. We'll do top three.
Top three of Ghostbusters is number one. Any Friday the 13th. You can't go wrong with Friday the 13th. And I'm a Freddy Krueger kind of guy, so any Freddy Krueger movie.
I enjoy. I definitely enjoy the. Nightmare on Elm Street #1, that's a great one. Dream Warriors, which I think is number 4. I absolutely love that one. The first Friday the 13th is amazing. I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
But the Wes Craven's New Nightmare, just even at the time and even now still, I mean, like that was very well thought out. Like Nancy, it was like Freddy became real and he was coming after Nancy, but the actress that played Nancy, and that was in the film. I really liked that one.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was a great idea for a film. So last before we go, where contact info, Facebook, what platforms can we find you on?
We are actually on every platform you can think of. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. If you're wanting to check out the television show, we have some episodes that we've uploaded to our YouTube channel, which is Corpus Christi Spook Central Paranormal. If you guys want to follow us on Facebook, again, it's Corpus Christi Spook Central Paranormal. If you want to follow the television show on Facebook, it's South Texas Haunts. And on TikTok, we're Corpus Christi Spook Central Paranormal. But if you just Google Corpus Christi Spook Central Paranormal, you will find a plethora of all the information,
Definitely.
all the social media.
I mean, you do. And, not just horror stuff. You do a ton of stuff.
Oh, yeah. From Halloween, to Christmas, to anything. If it's got my interest, I'm all in. Let's go for it.
Yeah, absolutely, you are. So again, there's going to be a part 2. We'll hype it up and we'll play that on. Well, it's not a part 2. You're coming back, but it's still a part 2 because I didn't finish, and I don't think you finished either. And maybe there's going to be a part 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll see. See where we're at there, because I think that's definitely something that's doable.
This has been so much fun, and thank you so much for having me on. I look forward to coming back, and maybe next time I could send you some EVPs or something if you want to play on the air. And
absolutely, I will. Absolutely, I will. So I think that would be super interesting. We'll have to get together and and set up a show, or set up a program, or how we're going to do it on the next one, or in the next few, if you want to come back.
Yeah.
So this has been Monty Prescott from Corpus Christi Spook Central Paranormal. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, sir.
Really enjoyed it. Had a very good time. Thank you. You're listening to Still Talking in the Morning on Real Country, WCAZ.